Can you hear me? Cool. A very warm welcome to all of our guests who have joined us for the Startup House demo night, and good to see all of our teams here as well. Thank you. To our judges at the front, thank you all so much for coming. Just a few moments of housekeeping for all of our presenters in a moment. So this is being live streamed. So when you're presenting, please stay within the black boxes. And when you speak in the mic, please speak clearly so that we can pick it up. And the final thing for all people pitching, your time limit is 4 minutes. So please make sure you stick within that time frame, or I will stop you. That aside, I think we can welcome Omar now to come and kick things off. Big round of applause.
Thank you very much. Hello, can you hear me? I think it's not turned on. Trying. Hello, trying. Thanks also. I don't worry. No worries. Thank you.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, we'll finish this. I'm very excited about this, so let's start. So a couple of weeks ago, I uploaded about 500 reposts to the developer report coming from Starknet. That's a huge number. I think I reviewed our requests, and this was the biggest of all of them. So we got the most reposts than any other ecosystem. It's not very good. However, when I was reviewing them, I could see that very few of them had more users or stars than people in this room. Not even people in this room, people in the front row. Right? So we got a lot of projects, a lot of reposts, a lot of code. However, tonight, all these days, we have 20 projects who chose violence, who chose to be here and do maybe one of the hardest things a person can do. That is creating a startup. So this is huge. And tonight we'll have 16 presenting. Sorry for the mistake there. So yeah, let's start with a round of applause to these teams that chose violence. So this is the Startup House Camp 2025. This is the cohort 0. So this is the first version of a Startup House. And yes, we're turning developers into builders, into founders, whether they like it or not. My name is Omar Espejel. I am the Startup House lead, and I do a lot of other stuff in the foundation. Professional print crusher here, but also a revenue enthusiast. And as my boss says, you need to be kind of like a, how is it, like a kind asshole? I mean, it's for the good of everyone. I see a couple of you guys applying for grants now with the cell phones out there. So this is the reality, right? This is the problem that we are facing. And I won't lie to you, and we know this, and this is no surprise for anyone. The Starknet paradox is that we have the best tech, the lowest fees, an amazing... a lot of opportunities in the ecosystem, amazing infrastructure. And we are very proud of this, and this is something that took us a lot of time to build, Starware, the foundation, never mind all the ecosystem, open setting, everyone worked to get this. However, we're lacking revenue that isn't coming from grants. Founders who talk to humans and products that people actually want. And I mean, I'm talking about Starknet, but I think you can find this in other ecosystems, overall in crypto. So our mission here in the Startup House is to eliminate this. We're trying to fight against this Starknet paradox. We're turning these technical geniuses that we have here that are thinking in terms of code into revenue-generating chats with a business. Right? So everyone here, they are technical actually. Everyone in the Startup House are technical, amazing technical people that maybe you cannot find in other ecosystems. The next step is to bring them to get some revenue. So, well, the numbers that we got here, more than 100 applications. Actually, we accepted 1 out of every 5 applicants. So you must be very proud of yourself if you were selected to be here. We got 15 countries represented in 44 persons that came here. 15 countries, that's a lot. People that came from New Zealand, Australia, Brazil. So they are very, very interested in coming here. There's something to win here. And 5 days of pure figuring out or dying. You know, some of you had Diane as a mentor and you know how this feels. Some of you almost died. But I think we did a lot of progress. So again, we got 20 teams who in the end submitted and they said, okay, let's submit more. We want money. Forget about the grants, let's submit more. 6% today, and across several verticals, we got people building in DeFi, payments, gaming, Bitcoin, people building for Web3 users, people building for Ethereum users, for Bitcoin users, for Starknet users, also others for Web2 individuals, which is something that we're focusing a lot. So we got a lot of different kind of people represented here. So for tonight's demo night, each team will present for 4 minutes on the dot. So Andrea told me that you need to be exactly on the dot. You need to finish on the 4 minutes because otherwise we need to stop you. Then judges will have 3 minutes to ask questions, give feedback, etc. Please focus on showing interaction, prove that you will survive. This is very serious, this is very nice. You got a lot of people looking at your pitches, so yeah, it's your night. And yeah, no longer this. We got 15 teams, and particularly 6 that will present today that say, okay, this is no longer product market fit. We're going for it, we're learning a lot, and we'll work toward that. So yes, welcome to the new Starknet where we build products people want, businesses that last, and the future of Web3 with actual users. So thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Omar. Okay, so our first team are going to come up and present. So Grog's Lair, would you like to come up with your laptop and plug it in? Oh, and a big round of applause, please, everyone. While we're setting up on the stage, Omar's going to jump right back in quickly and introduce a few very special people to the audience.
Yes, so we're also very proud to attract a lot of judges that were interested in this. So first we got Henry here. You know Henry, head of ecosystem at the Starknet Foundation. And we got Cash from the Star Wars ecosystem. We got DBK from Shape Vision, ABC there. Luca from Open Zeppelin. And Nicole from Chainlink. So for all the people presenting now, remember that all these 5 judges, every day they review startups. That's practically their job. So if you want to get good feedback, it's coming from them. They will also be around, but remember these guys are always looking at pitches, looking at startups. So yes, get this feedback and use it for you. Thank you again.
Yeah. As always, there's a few technical issues, but there wouldn't be a demo day without one. So I guess while they're going on, for those of you who don't know what has happened in this past week, we have just had 5 days of our teams in this startup house all working on their projects, all speaking with their mentors, working very closely to try and accelerate their products, work together as a team. I think there are a lot of teams that really utilize this as a team bonding moment because they got to fly in and see each other maybe for the first time in a year or so. So it was a great moment for them. Okay, we're ready. I'll stop talking now. But basically, we've had a fantastic week, and here are the projects to show off. Sorry, false alarm, we are not ready yet. But so I will continue talking. But yeah, we've had a wonderful week of sunshine, of going to the beach to hang out, getting to know each other. I think all of the teams that I've spoken to have really enjoyed themselves here. These top 6 teams that you see here today aren't all of them. As Omar said earlier, we've had 20 or so teams come here, work together, and it's been brilliant. So catch us at the next one. I'll now hand over to Grub. Please round of applause.
Hello guys. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Giorgio, also known as Greg, and I'm the founder of Greg Slayer, which is an indie gaming studio scaling on-chain game with Blobarina. So what is Blobarina? Blobarina is a fully on-chain fighting game scaling into the first franchise for real-world combat sports. This is the first time ever something like this happened. So this is the team, we're 9 people with an advisor who's coming straight from Sony. We got experience in the gaming industry, and so what we obviously are trying to solve here is a problem, which is on-chain gaming, and it's just not reaching its potential. Why? Because Web3 gaming is fragmented, few projects prioritize UX, onboarding and scalability, and there is a lack of compelling integration between gaming and real-world communities. So what are we doing? So Blobarina is our product, and this is how we're addressing this problem. Right now it's in early access, like on mainnet, you can play from your phone, it's mobile first, it's fully on-chain, and it's designed to scale through real-world collaboration. How to describe the game is basically like if Pokemon and Street Fighter are having kids, you put like armors on them and you just let them fight. This is what it is, a turn-based arcade fighting game. And the key is that the economy is obviously a freemium mobile game like Web2, but also we have implemented seamlessly Web2 and Web3 monetization with Web3 incentives. So now the big part of Blobarina is that we scaled into other business, like a real organization like Armored MMA, that's got like over like 1 million followers around the world. And this was actually the largest real world exposure for an on-chain game ever. We launched in front of thousands of like people that were like at the semi-final on the 7th of June. And at the moment we signed a contract with Armored MMA for the whole year. And we are basically doing 20 events with them across the US. So for example, like even if the team was in Cannes yesterday, we had an event in Portland and they were like streaming Blobarina in the Jumbotron, and we got like 200 players, and you know, people love this game, especially playing with the fighters. So also like this is due to Armored MMA explosive growth, and as I said, this is the first time an on-chain game is marketed to non-crypto users, and our objective is to obviously integrate the real Armored MMA fighters and also real world, real combat academies. So this is actually the growth that we had like from the launch. So just from the on-site conversion rate, out of 3.3 thousand people that were attending, we managed to get like almost 420 players actually playing the game. They were purchasing tokens in the app. We were making revenue. We were really happy. We finally made our first dollar. Anyway, you can see, so these are actually all fighters that have endorsed our game. You know, people that they range from like having 1,000 followers to people that have like several tens of thousands followers, and they're all fighters, and they're like playing with my characters in Blobarina, and they're fun. So this is like some numbers that we had as attraction from real world. For example, like our best post at over like 500 million views with the current like Armored MMA champion. But then that's not the only thing that we did. Actually, like we developed the first fully on-chain referral system that actually makes everyone monetize their fan base with custom links and transparent rewards. So if you're a fighter, if you're an ambassador, if you're a gaming guild, if you're anyone, you can create a link, sponsor a game, and make money out of the money that people spend in the game. But what's next? So we're like aiming to create the biggest like franchise in on-chain platform with every major fighting sports into one IP universe. And this is not just a random image, but yeah, we're actually in talks, in advanced talk with some of them to integrate these people. And all of these combined, it's over 1 billion users. So imagine even if we attract like 0.1% of these people, we would be really successful. So what makes our studio unique? We got a referral platform, we got Dojo Beacon, bespoke Unity SDK, and integration with any payment in the world. And this is like our go-to-market strategy, on-site activation, mobile app launch coming like next month, fully on-chain referral system, and multi-platform content, so everywhere, not just Web3 based, and franchise expansion, and also on-site presence. And then why we're building on-chain? Because we can make this scalable, composable, low cost, transparent. We can implement like a new franchise from day zero to like basically 100% in less than 2 months, and it's cheap.
Thank you. That was your 4 minutes. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So I guess no questions, right?
So we've got 3 minutes for questions.
All right. Thank you for the presentation. You've done your first activations. First of all, congrats for that.
Thank you.
You spent money to acquire those customers, and you hopefully made money from them. How does it look like? Are people paying for the game, and is the acquisition worth it?
Yeah. So actually, like we kind of like didn't pay anything. So this is like our business model. Like our aim is to grow the franchise of Blob Arena. So at the moment, like we went 50-50 on revenues with Armored MMA. So we actually don't spend anything apart from developing the game. But then the idea is to split the revenues when we grow. Obviously, at the moment, like we don't grow that much. We actually like made some money by going there and sell some merchandise. We were impressed that we were buying like Blob Arena t-shirts. And also we got, as I said, Sola integration. I don't know if you guys like know Sola, but it's basically like a famous gaming payment provider that was implemented by Smite, Dota, Roblox, so big games, and it's available like everywhere. And you got like a publisher dashboard that basically collects your money in any currencies in the world. I think they got over like 130 currencies. Basically, like whenever you want, you can just like withdraw the money straight in your bank account, and it's looking okay. Obviously, like it's not the best, but the thing is, our key retention unlock is going to be when we're going to be on App Store, which is what we're planning to do in next month. I think like by end of July, end of August, we will be on App Store.
Any other questions, judges?
Yeah, Echo, congratulations on the
Thank
launch. I'm curious, and you touched on it a little bit, but how do you view the long-term retention for your users and the long-term value prop to them for continuously playing the game?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. So basically, like I just have to explain you how the activation works a bit. So for example, with Armored MMA, with any combat sport, it works really easily. Especially if you guys like a fan of combat sports in general. Like usually there are breaks. So for example, with Armored MMA, during 20 minutes of intermissions that they have to display like a big logo of Blob Arena, play, and So with this, we implemented the referral custom link. So basically, when they get players, they also get 20% of the money that they spend. So they got a reason, obviously, to advertise it. So that's why we don't pay for the advertisement. And the same thing happens to the fighters. So now get the fighters that all of a sudden they were doing like a kind of a known sport. They got the growth, and now they're like characters in the games. And all of these people are nerds. And like they're like, oh, this is super cool. And now they're like, some of them they got like 40, 50,000 followers. They're like Twitch streamers. And they all kind of like make a lot of advertising. They found this, they were happy because also like it takes like 30 seconds literally to set up like something like this. And yeah, as I said, also someone from that I cannot say who it was saw our activation with Armored MMA and our launch and got in touch with us and said we want to make this scale much higher. But I said we are not ready just yet because obviously like we just launched and I think we will probably be ready. At the moment, we're looking also for an investment, a small one, around 2 million, so like to make I grow. We already did a pre-seed. We're looking for like someone that believes in us for the seed round and grow. Just grow.
Thank you very much, everyone. Sorry, we're out of time for questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Grug, and the Grug's led team. Awesome. So our next speaker is here and ready, so we'll connect up the laptop. And they've come prepared with their own branding. I think that's pretty impressive.
Let's go, I want one.
We don't have pamphlets, I'm sorry.
I'm just taking a moment to connect up. And we've got another team member coming to the stage as backup. These guys are prepared.
Sorry, it's Linux issues.
Amazing. Okay. How does the branding look from the front, guys? Really? Maria's very impressed. Robbers. It's at an angle?
I mean, it seems appropriate.
What? Oh. It's at an angle, an upwards angle to represent the growth that they're going to achieve? Yeah? Exactly. Okay. It's all part of the plan, guys. Oh no.
You got right.
You got right. It's okay, we got this. Hold it in place like this. Perfect. Okay. Fingers crossed.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please, everyone. No. This is all to keep us in anticipation. For the next team that are preparing to come up, just make sure your laptops are ready. Perhaps the next team that comes up while we're doing questions, have your laptop and be ready to connect. Almost there, everyone. Here we go. Huge round of applause, please.
Can we set the timer, please?
Yes, absolutely. Let's go.
Okay, so hello to the judges, hello to everyone. I'm in my cam fit right now. A bit more grip. So, I want to talk about what we're building, and I think the best thing to start is to start talking about indie games, because that's where we want to go to, and we want to see what indie games and the metaverse, sorry, we still use that term, how we can combine it to make something interesting. So, in the past 4 or 5 years, the golden age of indie games is dead. A lot of small companies are struggling to build out these games, and we're trying to find a way to build a distribution platform. I think the things that we do not see in indie games, where live games that have come out have dominated, is mostly 3 things that you can see right here. Community, like obviously when you see Fortnite, Roblox, community is very strong. Monetization exists. It's maybe not strong, but it definitely exists. And finally, flexibility. You have an ability to be able to play so many games. And we want to bring this to independent games. I think the flexibility thing is a big thing, so remember that. Our vision is that meta games create value. They create liquidity. They have been known to be successful in doing this because people care about persistent systems. Persistent systems such as ELO in chess, where millions of people spend money to play chess, or persistent systems like leaderboards in Wordle. Other persistent systems, a great example is EVE Online, where corporations, which are guilds in that game, have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in the span of a couple of days to be able to basically just wage war with no opportunity of making money, because it's not fungible. It goes one way, it goes into the game, but it doesn't come out. So this meta game, we've actually already built it. We did a 5-day tournament test. We got 400 players and some good numbers. And basically, what is this? What is this meta game? That's called Ponzi Land. A bit of a little insider making fun of all the real Ponzi games. Well, it's as simple as an autonomous world that has 2 key features: social coordination and money. So it's a game where users come in with liquidity and they fight as teams to gain the liquidity of others. So it is technically a net zero game, but it has a persistent liquidity. So you could think it more of a stock market, where technically it's net zero, but that's only if everybody exits. Now, how does this help indie games? How does this have any relationship to indie games? Well, now we're going into a vision of autonomous world, or what we call deconstructed MMOs. The idea is any game that's provable. What do you mean by provable? What do I mean is that you can prove the end state. You can prove the high score. Basically what ZK does for any execution of code, but this time for a game. Any provable game can be embedded in this basically liquidity competitive environment. And like here you could actually see the game that was just talked about before, from Giorgio, Drugs there, Blob Arena, but there's also other games from Starknet right here. Actually, there are 2 teams here from these 2 games. And the idea is to give value to these games, because these session games are hard to monetize. But because we already have a meta platform with liquidity and social stakes, humans are willing to gamble by playing these games and betting on who are the best. Because it's one thing to bet on your mum against Wordle, you won't do that. But your best mate, you'll bet it for a bit. Like you'll bet a game of Wordle for a bit. You could do the same with ZCube. You could do the same with all these games, thanks to this kind of meta layer that brings in the liquidity. That's it. Thank you.
And the time as well, we're right on time actually.
4 minutes on the dot.
Woo, well done. Judges, question time for you guys. Who has a question? No one has a question.
Hey Govind. I think like I play Ponziland of course, but I also want to like put this out because I don't think this was covered. But how does the whole economics work, and how does the game look like for an end user? Like they've been talking about Ponziland and also looking at the shirt, talking about getting rugged. But what does rugged and what does Ponziland exactly mean, like for the end users?
Well, it actually caters to 2 types of player bases. what you've experienced as someone who loves crypto and is kind of a degen. You like the idea of bringing in any token you want and playing against other players and trying to arbitrage against them. That is something we're trying to attract, of course, because that's what crypto is currently. But the idea is that we can bring in the casual players through these games, and you have games that are for the hardcore players, like EVE Online players, and games for the casual players, but the world is knitted together. It's basically the vision of a deconstructed MMO. Was that a good answer?
Yeah.
I mean, I could explain Ponzi Land, it's kind of complicated, but liquidity moves around, you're arbitraging against other players.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, first of all, thank you for the presentation. It's great. My question is, what does the current team of Ponziland have to make this successful? At the moment, we don't really know a lot about the team.
4 minutes is not ideal to talk about everything, but yes. So the question is, what exactly do we have? Well, we did have obviously a playtest to validate this theory, this idea we've had. And we are just big gamers, and we've worked in different mod environments, specifically Minecraft, developing mod platforms, distribution platforms, monetization, which is notoriously complicated because of many different regulations that companies impose. And I think that we've developed a good intuition of what it is, and we've been embedded in the Dojo ecosystem for quite a while now. And this is very much a product that's weird, that there's no comparison, but there's not many teams trying this from what I know. So I think why we can do this is, one, we are the only ones with the idea, and two is we do have the skill sets to develop it. One last question.
One last question?
So you've launched your own game. When is the next one? How do you think about doing another season with Ponziland or partnering with other games?
So we want to continue developing and doing seasons until the autonomous world comes out. Obviously, to do the autonomous world, we need audits, we need reliability, we need more robust infrastructure for it to work until the end of humanity, because it's an autonomous world. And we do plan to collaborate with all the teams. And the beauty of Starknet is there is something we call the embeddable game standard, developed by Provable Games, which makes any game that goes to this standard automatically compatible with our game with zero code needed. You just need to feed in the metadata, and actually the metadata is already in the standard, and then the game becomes compatible. And through DAO votes, you can vote for authorized games, and communities can kind of self-choose their games with zero programming experience.
Cool.
Thank you very much for your time.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so I think we're ready for the next team, but we may need to skip ahead. So Caddy, if you guys are here and ready to present, it would be great to have you come up. Yeah, Caddy, I see Abhishek in the background. Would you be able to pitch next? They're coming in. They're ready. Did anyone else spot that the last team were walking around the stage barefoot? Not to call them out or anything, yes.
More grip.
More grip, yeah. I also feel like I present better when I have more grip. Thank you. Okay, so we are now having all of the presentations come onto one laptop, so hopefully we shouldn't have too many delays from now. But yes, Orko has his own mic.
Yes, I do. But I don't have my own screen.
No, not yet. In the meantime, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
It was part of the pitch, but yeah, so.
I see. Well,
Fine.
take the extra time.
So my name is Orko Ganguly. I pretend I don't have stage fright. for starters. But my background, thank you. And my background is predominantly, you're saying there are builders here, but I think I'm an exception when the definition of builders. I actually come from a field of law. I was a capital markets lawyer, and I wanted to do less boring stuff. And basically, I built a company before in Web2, and now I'm in crypto. It's a long story, and I still have time to talk about it. So basically, I was trying to do something in decentralized identities and verifiable credentials. And basically, I thought European notaries is a good place to implement that because issuer infrastructure is a big problem for implementing DIDs at scale. But unfortunately, what I realized is notaries in Europe in actuality are more of a digitalization problem than a Web3 problem. My first exploration of tech is not the moat, but the human beings are. Ended up building a marketplace, raised like a couple of $1 million, but it became a service company because I was handling okay, so it's done. Okay. That was fast. Thank you for that. Yeah. Hello everybody, you know my name now. I'm a co-founder of Caddy Finance. Caddy Finance is creating vaults, BTC vaults for retail to get access to institutional yields. Okay, so like that. So I'll tell you a bit about myself, and that part of the pitch I've already covered. But I was predominantly from the capital market space. I can also talk about my amazing co-founder here. We are both Anchor founders, and he has done a lot of cool stuff in the last 6 years in core crypto in the field of DeFi, RWA, and ZK. He was actually a Cairo Zero dev to begin with. He's very Starknet native that way. And let me introduce my cat. So a very small animal, but trust me, he literally punches above his weight. Kind of like aggregated retail liquidity, you know? When they go to, they actually participate with like institutional tier 1 funds. And they have been doing it for quite some time. You look at like BlackRock, Finco, Fidelity, a significant portion of that, all those financial instruments have aggregated retail liquidity, like in various forms, master feeder funds, USCI, DCC. Don't want to go too much into specifics, they do it a lot. But we see that not happening with Bitcoin retail because there are operational hassles and compliance risks, which is why tier 1 and tier 2, or like the top people like Citadel and all the others, probably a little, think the market is not ready for that. And that means, if you look at it, $1.5 trillion of retail BTC stays idle with institutional yields. It's probably a loss of $150 billion of yields for retail that we don't touch upon. Oh, sorry. Okay. And therefore, we flip the script. We go to small to medium trading desks, which have lower AUM, but actually are more open to liquidity penetration from retail, of course, with certain guardrails. And actually, we started doing that. But simply we talk about what the customers are doing, right? For the customers, not so much complications. I hold idle BTC, I deposit it in the vault, and we aggregate the BTC in all the vaults, and we participate with our trading desk in institutional derivative markets, and we generate yields. And basically, for the first stage, we are doing it in a custodial way. Thank you, Starknet, for believing in us. And basically, we are collateralizing it now, getting the borrowed amount, and trading with that in slightly higher strategies to provide industry-grade yields. As we know that Bitcoin is more of a custody problem and not a yield problem for retail. We're actually stage 2. We are creating non-custodial methods where we actually lock and prove retail liquidity, and based on that, we go to derivatives liquidity. It's kind of normal in the TradFi market. We have spot liquidity on one side and derivative liquidity on the other side, and it doesn't need to be together. So you don't need to bridge your BTC. In a non-custodial way, you can generate yields. And let's talk about traction. We just went live on mainnet today. Again, thank you, Starknet. And we have 1,000 waitlisted users of the core WP, like the Wolf Pack, who want to be on our to be a part of this journey. And we have selected 200 ones for our first phase, because obviously you want to test the strategies if they work. We also have onboarded our first institutional trading desk. Taylor Trading, hi Paul, he came all the way to support us. And we have a few others in the pipeline as well. And we also raised like a small amount, like 50K from angels and grants. And that's where we are. Our business model is, as of now, pretty simple. We are kind of following the gated 2 and 20 hedge fund model, where 2% is the management fee and 20% is the performance fee and the extra yields that's generated. And our advisors are also like really, really good people. Timothy Anakin, the managing partner of Stadium VC, a very, very active VC, the Starknet ecosystem as well. built the first blockchain fund, and as well running the largest LP fund, and Jigdeep Chabra, who is the founder of the Ocean Protocol and ex-director of RWA tokenization in Citi. Those are our product streams. Those yields are what we are promising. We just want live with our high-risk vault. And thank you. So if you're a liquidity provider, institutional backer, VC or retail or rebel, you just want to talk to me because you feel I'm a fun guy, please go ahead. Thank you.
Onto the gentleman, please. Questions? Any questions?
Thank you for the presentation. Super interesting. Can you talk a little bit more, I guess, first, like how you guys are set up to expand your institutional partnerships? And then two, I'm curious, I know it's stage one, stage two as far as how you're going to approach this, but what are the risks associated with the current state, and what are the lockups for users? You know, if I were to try to withdraw, what does that look like to actually reach my wallet again?
Absolutely. I'll take the first question, and then the second question is actually a product question, which I thought 3 minutes is more to pique interest. That I think that's successful. And for the first thing, so we are probably going to start small because people want to move too fast too soon, and then things happen. We want to probably curate very few institutional trading desk partners on one side because we are good at certain things, but definitely we are not the established traders in the market. Like to say something that these people have been trading options and perps and so many cool stuff for like decades. They are institutional people from before. So but we'll start small. We'll work with a very select group of partners. We'll create the scarcity. We'll prove the yields, and then we'll scale from there. So although it kind of sounds like you're making a marketplace, but we want to have a very select group of traders who probably will grow with us along with our liquidity. So that's the strategy we are looking on a high level. But of course, GPM is slightly more complicated than that. So that's a different thing. Like we are evaluating that as we speak. When it comes to the product, yes. So the way we are doing initially right now, we are creating a yield cycle because currently we are collateralizing that, which means we are borrowing USDC and lending BTC, which is not the best efficient way to do it, which means the interest is going up. So we have currently a 30-day yield cycle. So we are taking the stable coins, providing it to the institutional partners, and we map the yield cycle from the institutional partners. And when we kind of recalibrate and we close the position with the lending protocol, and if the user wants to actually withdraw at any time, either the whole principal and the yield or the yield itself, we have one cycle. So if you come in on the 28th day of the cycle, and I come on the 21st day, you will get in 9 days, I'll get in 2 days. So we have 1 point of failure, 1 point of withdrawal for all people on the protocol. That's what we are approaching right now because it makes simple sense. But of course, if we are on the second part, on the non-custodial part, we're kind of taking inspiration from this protocol called Garden, which has done a very cool thing with HTLC, where hash-time locked proving system, which is why we're also on Bitcoin actually, because Bitcoin has the functionality to prove and lock. So provenance is not custody, but provenance is a big step. So the biggest thing is, to reiterate, like you have intermediaries in TradFi, like CME, Head Holdings, and JP Morgan. So you have spot liquidity on one side. You prove that it exists, and you create derivative assets on top of it. And in the case of it goes against the spot liquidity, you trust the intermediary that the thing will be cash settled, right? Or basically the liquidation will happen. You can do the same with Bitcoin, right? So you can basically hold your Bitcoin, you lock your Bitcoin, you don't exactly give the custody of the Bitcoin to speak, and then basically you derivatives trading, an option contract less than derivative, and let's say you lose it, so you have a choice to cash settle it, or a portion, but the margin of your BTC gets liquidated or transferred. That way, if I'm a retail BTC holder, my custodial BTC holder, maybe I'm a DeFi maximalist, but that is a hard thing to sell. But there's so many new people looking at Bitcoin. Oh, what is crypto? Let's get Bitcoin. Those people are...
Sorry to interrupt, we are at time.
Sorry. Sorry, any other questions?
No, that's the time we have. I'm so sorry. You can catch up later if you have any other questions. I'm sure you can be very happy to talk. Thank you so much. Well done. Okay, so I'd love to invite Forge Yields up to the stage. There we go. And thankfully, it's on the screen straight away, guys. So, huge round of applause to the team, please.
May I start? Hello everyone, I'm Sasha, founder of Forge Yields. So we provide the best risk-adjusted cross-chain yield with a Robinhood simple deposit. So I leave yields I drink heels, I eat heels. I spent my last 3 years building DeFi infra stack. So with a focus on yield aggregation, cross-chain DeFi access. So I built some cool stuff, such as the first vault, YonV3 vault with verifiable debt optimization. It's a nerd thing to say more performance and decentralized. And I also grew a cross-chain DeFi product to 20 million TVL in 6 months. So in addition, I am a user of DeFi. So I got rugged, I got rich, I got wrecked. Here's what I think of the overall climate of yield. First thing, it's fragmented. You have many protocols, many chains. It's a big catalog, but you have no plan. Then it's opportunistic. Every protocol and chain want to get a lot of TVL. So they launch a short period time incentive program. So the timing is extremely important. Then it's complex. I know how to set up a YonV3 position, but most of people do not know. So how we tackle this issue one by one? Fragmentation, we need something that is cross-chain, that do cross-chain aggregation. How we tackle opportunistic, we need to automate it and make it dynamic. And complex, we need something obviously simple. How we make it simple? Any DeFi provider, any chain, a massive access, and a unique strategy for any underlying asset. Sorry, it's straightforward. You deposit and it's done. How is it possible? It's because we built the first cross-chain vault infrastructure. So we accept deposit and withdrawal from any chain that unlock us a massive distribution. Then, so we batch deposit and redeem on a daily basis. We are going to net all of this, bring into layer one, and then a global netting of all of the chain, resulting in a single deposit or redeem. So we just transform thousands of deposit and redeem into a single vault action, allowing us to scale to billion TVL under management. Now, how do we make money? So we target major DeFi products. We target DEX, money market, and yield trading protocols. Only major 1 billion under management with battle-tested protocols, strong assets, and then how do we make a good risk-reward ratio? That we take advantage of the incentive wars that happen between protocols and chains, using some tools to identify them like Merkle, VoltFi, DeFi Llama. What is live today? Our production is fully production ready. We are live on Starknet mainnet with some cool interface, and we have a tracking record of 8.62% APY on our ETH strategy over some weeks. Our business model is that simple. 1 to 2% management fees on our money. Yeah, that's it. And so at 10 million TVL, we are sustainable. 100 million, it becomes interesting. At 1 billion TVL, we print like crazy. So as we are asking for a 500K for our pre-seed to finance obviously a top-tier audit. We are managing people money, so it's very, very important. I am solo, my first growth hire. I want to work with a great BD guy. I'm so bad at this. Pay acquisition and some liquidity for the DEX for a deeper integration into the ecosystem. The goal is to reach our sustainability that will then help us to unlock our next milestone to 100 million TVL, and then we will target some good valuation. So interesting for any investors. We are also giving away 2.5% of project equity for a liquidity provider for 5 million TVL for a lock of 12 months. The idea is that the TVL is the highest trusted metrics for the user, even more than TVL. It's super important. And I want to co-market with Cure of Morpho, and they are not going to look at me if I have less than 2 million TVL.
I'm so sorry, we are at time. Last sentence, and then we move to questions. Judges, please ask your questions. It can be about this slide if you want to hear more.
Yeah, I guess I want to go back a bit. How are you solving for cross-chain aggregation? Are you using intents? And this is a big problem that Unichain has and other DeFi protocols.
Yeah, so we want to use only canonical bridge. So we focus on Ethereum itself and chains that are able to settle on Ethereum with a delay inferior to 24 hours. So for OP chain, it can be difficult. We don't want to rely on third-party bridge, so only canonical bridge. And yeah, OP chain, it's a bit complicated. Sending liquidity to OP chain can be fast, but getting it back to Ethereum can be long with this 1 week period. Yeah.
Other questions?
Hey, Sasha. Pretty good presentation. Also, are you looking into expanding into other chains? Of course, Solana is like the liquidity chain. Like, are you looking into expansion to that? How is that supposed to go?
Yeah, so for our strategies, for ETH, on ETH, BTC, and USD, not really we focus on the Ethereum ecosystem, but later on, why not launch like a simple vault that is allocating on Solana, but it won't be included on our like a cross-chain yield aggregation within the Ethereum ecosystem. It will be just another product. Yeah.
How would you curate your strategies?
Yeah. So we identify, we have a network of layer that is able to move the liquidity based on our target allocation. So we identify major protocol, DEX, money market, and yield trading app that have good incentives. We set our target allocation based on this, and then our relayer will just manage the liquidity on behalf of the vaults. And also maybe some words on the custody, because you'll be like, okay, you have relayers that do action on behalf of the vault, so why wouldn't they just move the money away? It's because we, with the call data of the call we want to perform, provide some proof, because all of our allowed call are built with a Merkle tree. We save the Merkle root in our vault contract, and then manage it, providing the proof, so we cannot do anything, any vault action. Yeah, so yeah.
And just to follow up on that, I know we were talking a bit before, which maybe is cheating, but so if you have your target allocations and the yield in a certain protocol is changing, how dynamic are your target allocations changing? Or for now, I know it's relatively early, so for now, is it basically you just manually adjusting these target allocations?
Yeah, in the initial phase, it was more manual. Absolutely, but at long term we plan to make it dynamic. But it's a bit difficult because putting risk on DeFi strategy is really complex. Risk rating of strategy is very controversial, and yeah, you have many ways to do it, but it's very early for this year.
Thank you. We're out of time for questions. Huge round of applause. Okay, so our next team are coming up. We've got Peter. And while this is happening, I've been asked to request that the judges prepare your scores ahead of time, so that we have a quick points calculator, I guess. Okay. Another big round of applause, please, for the Curly team.
Bonjour à tous. Thank you very much for being here with us. My name is Petra, I'm coming from Kirby, and I want to kick off this short story with a quick social experiment. Let's imagine that we did the business transaction once only, and now based on that transaction, I know your full balances, I know every your transaction, every your move. Are you in? Most probably not, but this is exactly what happens today and what we accepted as a default with blockchain. And that's one of the reasons why we have many complaints on social media about thefts, robberies, social engineering, etc. And that's one of the reasons why we are building Curvy, which is basically a payment protocol with privacy and compliance embedded on the protocol level. What it means in practice, it means that we come with zero complexity, and we abstract everything that needs to happen under the hood for our users. So it is going to be intent-based protocol. You just define what your end goal is, and we handle everything else that needs to happen under the hood. You might ask yourself, how is that possible? We combine two concepts here. On the left side, you will see receiving part, which means that we are using stealth addresses. Stealth addresses meaning that if someone knows your username, they can, even from their MetaMask or any other wallet, send your funds, and those funds will each time go to the different deposit address. But the privacy part doesn't stop at the receiving side. Once when you want to move those assets and to spend them, you will need, or any other action like swap, bridge, etc. You will go through ZK relayer, and that ZK relayer will keep your privacy end to end, and will also make sure that you are compliant. We are a team that works together for more than a decade, and during this decade, we worked with 2 unicorn companies from the first lines of code. We went through 4 exits together, and we have end-to-end skills to build and ship this. Obviously, we are not the only ones who are building in the privacy market, but what we want to achieve is to be multi-chain, to be frictionless, so to onboard the newbies to crypto, and to have compliance built in at the protocol level. That's the reason, like if you imagine any Web2 business model can be translated to Curvy thanks to our modular cryptographic approach, and you can adjust the business model to different use cases. So for that reason, we are focusing initially on B2C, but very soon we are opening our gates for B2B2C and B2B. And there are a bunch of use cases which can be built on top of Curvy. The market is huge. If you just take the conservative approach and look what it looked like last year, 3.2 trillion was managed at Starknet and major EVM chains that we already support today. If only 20% of that should be captured for privacy, that would bring us to 640 billion. And if we manage to capture 5% of that as a market, it will make us 32 billion obtainable market. The business model is fairly simple. We plan to have free direct transactions always, but what we earn from are those relayer transfers, and we charge 0.1% on internal relayer transfers and 0.8% on withdrawals. At the scale, that will bring us to 64 million annual revenue. We wrote several research papers. One was about stealth address protocol that should work with the native Ethereum and Starknet. Then we played around with post-quantum cryptography, and then we built the POC and launched the web app last month. We onboarded the first 150 users in the first weeks. And now we are looking to build the SDK and to build the relayer by the end of the year, and also to support other chains. For that, we need to start the pre-seed fundraising. Thank you.
Under time as well. Fantastic. Okay, on to the judges.
I guess, how do you see the relayer business, right? Is this multi-tenant? Are you gonna do managed hosting for people, or is it just open source relayer that people go out there and use?
We plan to be basically a technical provider, so to provide the infra for payments that people will be able to build on top of that. And you can imagine us as a layer which will also serve to exchanges, to wallets, but any fintech app, neobanks in the future that can use this and provide basically end-to-end payments flows and rails in the crypto world, but also privacy for their users.
On the slide where you talked about all the potential business opportunities, I'm curious, what's your guys' strategy for focusing on some of those, as your first steps here?
That's a great question. Actually, in the early days, we planned to do growth type experiments with those use cases that you saw, like building e-leasing app, payroll app, splitting the bills app, etc. Why retail? Because it is faster time to market, and it allows us, to iterate and to build the SDK that actually people to battle test the SDK that will give in the hands of people. But very soon, like in less than a month, we are ready to onboard also corporate institutional users through the SDK, and we plan to work directly with them on actually tailoring the feature set to their needs. In the later phases, when we are more mature, we plan to onboard also institutionals like neobanks and to provide the end-to-end flows for them. These would be 3 stages.
We still have time for more questions if anyone has one.
Hi, great presentation, thank you. My question is, you said you want to focus on retail first, right? How are you planning on reaching these retail consumers that are going to benefit from your product?
Yeah, good question. So one side is those growth hack experiments that we mentioned. Another side is collaborating directly with developers who can actually, through hackathons, who can build their own use cases on top of that, and building also the internal marketplace of all those apps that retail can use and that are built by indie developers and development houses.
Great. Any more? Final question, or are we good? I think we're good. Okay, guys. Okay, Okay, so we have our final team up. Amazing. Okay, so this is the final pitch of the evening. So I hope you guys are bringing the energy. Huge round of applause for our final team. Just a few minutes.
Test. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Hi, my name is Sofian. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Starknet, and I'm here to introduce our solution. Since my early days in crypto, I've run into the same wall again and again. Everyone's talking about real-world adoption, but let's be honest, crypto payments are still stuck in the dark ages. There's no Stripe for crypto, no MongoPay, no PayPal. What we have instead are clunky, fragmented tools, poor UX, no privacy, no liquidity providing, and no flexibility for real business models. And yet, the crypto payments market is booming. Since 2020, it's emerged as a real alternative to fiat rates, offering lower fees, faster settlements, and more privacy. With 560 million crypto holders today and up to 2 billion by 2030, the potential is massive. But the players still playing catch up. That's where we saw an opportunity to rethink the crypto payment provider for the ground up. The features are here. They just haven't been packaged right. Here you can see a few examples of them. They are what inspired our product. Starknet is actually one product. The first privacy chain supporting EVMs, Solana, and Bitcoin. That provide two services. One is a DeFi portal for users, ensuring self-custody, privacy, and security in a sex-like UX with a Web3 level of freedom. Which brings us to our second service. A payment provider for businesses providing one-time payments, subscriptions, and service fee. A B2B service, private by default, and scalable by design. Starknet has a really unique value proposition thanks to its disruptive tech.
Hi, so my name is Jeremy, so I'm the CTO and the co-founder. My mission is to actually abstract blockchain technology as far as I can from users, and so that users don't need actually to know they are using blockchain or even blockchain technology. So with chain abstraction, actually, user can connect any wallet, so EVM, Solana, or even Bitcoin, and never think about what chain they are on. Account abstraction let them log in with just email or Google and just send gasless transactions. Invisible swap means user can pay what they want and businesses receive what they need. No friction. We secure everything with Falcon signature, making our solution post-quantum resistant. And with Shadow Frame, we combine privacy and compliance through actually private RPCs, Explorer, and access control. All built on a battle-tested SN stack, the most scalable and secure that can take in production.
Well, with Starknet, you have one chain made for both payments, privacy, and compliance. The market has been waiting for. Our go-to-market strategy is designed for attraction from day one. We've partnered with AP Collective, a leading Web3 agency with strong VC and KOL networks, especially in Asia. Together, we're launching a narrative-led campaign focused on trust, cross-chain visibility, and user activation. Our growth engine includes airdrop, quest, and referral system to drive organic adoption. We've already secured strong partnerships across the ecosystem, especially within Starknet, from strategic collaboration to liquidity providing with LayerSwap, WineFi, and Atomic Labs. Our network is growing fast. To build Starknet, we brought together a team with deep expertise in tech, project, and go to market, fully equipped to deliver on the vision. Me, Sofiane, the CEO and CPO, tech-native founder with a strong background in EVMs and project design, also holds a master's degree in international law, bridging tech and compliance. Jeremy, our CTO, full-stack engineer, and first to deploy Falcon signatures on EVMs and Solana. He did Starknet privacy and infrastack. Pierre, marketing lead at Pet Capital, expert in scaling and driving VC traction before Starknet go-to-market momentum. Last thing, our team launched a successful privacy-focused project with stand-up traction. That experience taught us what works and what doesn't in privacy and go-to-market.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, we're out of time. Straight to the judges, please. Questions?
Yeah, I'm happy to kick it out. I mean, this is great. I think payments is something that people are focused on and shipping today. I don't know if you saw what Shopify announced with Coinbase. Like, how are you thinking of the payment flow, right? Like refunding, voiding, right? Because there's a lot of steps, and if you want to do fully on-chain payments and not rely on like Visa, MasterCard, American Express, like you need to take care of that. So how do you think of giving that to merchants and people?
Like for American, like for businesses, you just have to create a smart wallet, just an account on our G app, and then you will be able to receive the crypto you want and the crypto you need, and the users will be able to pay with what they want. Then you will have an invisible swap. If let's say that, for example, the users want to pay with ETH, then it will auto swap to a stablecoin for the businesses, and then he will be able to offer, like he wants. We will have an administration tool, a compatibility tool just for compliance, for helping him in compliance. And then we want to, let's say that our motto is to abstract away the blockchain technology as far as possible. We don't want our users or businesses to think that they're using the blockchain. They just need a seamless experience.
To piggyback off that, I think part of what he's getting at is you have this concept of like chargebacks and different things that can happen within the user and merchandise flow. And so I think what Shopify and Coinbase did is they basically built a smart contract that could handle in the same way that like Visa or MasterCard made. Would Starknet have the same sort of capability? Could you guys build out that same sort of logic flow so merchants would feel more comfortable using the infrastructure?
Maybe so the way that so since I know a bit about the product, it's more like an app chain. So they're more like an L3. Oh, sorry. So they're more like an L3. So it's like more like an L3. They use the card order infrastructure and then they send the payments. Yeah, I mean, like I'm sorry. I would like you guys to explain it much better.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, it works like a real blockchain, like we create smart contracts, and we even added the possibility to create pricing models and products and subscription sheets inside the app chain. So you will be able to stock as data. Yeah, sorry. You will be able to stock as data your business logics. Let's say that.
I would like to know how the whole chain abstraction works. Being like an L3, how does the whole chain abstraction works here?
So actually, we generate dynamically Falcon keys. So basically, everything will be kind of focused on our front end. We provide actually SDK, so it can be used seamlessly. So actually, the user is not really, let's say, actually the developer will use the SDK, so we can trigger the transaction also without the user needing an interaction with his wallet, for example, or so. Just.
Thanks.
Cool. I think that is time for questions. Huge round of applause. Okay, fantastic. So that was all of our teams pitching today. And so this is the time now for the judges to put in their final scores, make sure that they're all updated. And in the meantime, we have a short presentation from a team that would like to share some exciting updates. Okay. Huge round of applause, please.
Hey guys, I'm Nikki from Layer Kira. I feel like I'm the intermission ad break, which is really fitting because I'm about to show you guys a quick video.
This is Nikita Nike.
Wait. It's pronounced Mickey, like the mouse?
Whoops, let's try that again. This is Nikita and Mickey, like the mouse, and they're from Layer Akira. Nikita is the cracked deaf, the brains and the blood of the company. And this is Mickey. No one really knows what she does.
Wait, I literally do everything else.
Right, and they're currently building Layer Akira, another DEX on Starknet.
Wait, not just any decks on Starknet. We're the most liquid order book decks.
They've been working tirelessly on this project for the last 18 months, trying to solve the big problem on Starknet. How to trade at size without slippage. They've crossed milestone after milestone.
She just crossed $8 million in total volume traded on the exchange.
And even brought brand new tokens to the network.
This week we launched Uni, Athena, Polygon, Aave on the exchange.
They talked at conferences, went viral for some provocative marketing stunts. But the one question still remains on everyone's mind. Why the hell does it look like an AMM?
Whoa. Okay, this is where I intersect because today we're introducing you to Layer Akira's advanced view. This is our newest trading feature that we are launching from Monday. So up until now, Layer Akira has very much looked like an AMM DEX, which means that users kind of have the simplicity to swap as fast as they can, but it doesn't really look like a centralized exchange or show the features of an order book. So now at a quick toggle for the advanced view, you can see the price movements, order book history, as well as especially showing the price levels and how much liquidity are sitting at each price. This new feature will give traders the ability to make more informed trading decisions. But that's not all, because next month we are also shipping limit orders. With this feature, it will make Layer Akira a completely feature-complete spot DEX on the network. So use Akira for the best pricing on chain. We are backed by institutional liquidity, built by traders for traders. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. That was quite literally an ad break that we had on the screen there, but hopefully very entertaining. I was employed as the camera person for that, so apologies if some of those shots were a bit wonky. I tried my best. I did have a gimbal with me, but I still pretty much tripped up at most steps. But thankfully the team were there to guide me. I think now, though, we are ready for our closing slides. So please welcome to the stage again.
Hi everyone. So we are almost there, and I'm just gonna do a very small presentation on, we've had the sun, the beach, so what next? This is largely for folks who are, say, looking to build on Starknet, or looking to understand what that journey of building on Starknet would look like. To quickly introduce myself, my name is Kyan Lakshmi. I work in the ecosystem team at the Starknet Foundation. I'm one of the co-creators of the Startup House, and I also work with teams that are building on Starknet at an early stage. Right? So, yeah, for those of you who are thinking that, yay, I've made it to the Startup House, unfortunately, this is not the end, just the beginning, right? You've got a lot of stuff done over the last 5 days. You've got a lot of feedback. Now it's time for you to just sit heads down, take all of this feedback, go out there, talk to people, and it's literally the beginning of your business, of your company that hopefully is going to last for a few years, right, and make money. So a quick sort of journey to success that I want to put over here is like, let's say you start, ideation, you want to build something. So you come to us and you say, hey, I have this cool idea and I want to build this out, right? So we give you a platform. We discuss with you, we give you a platform like a hackathon, or we help you build something out, right? So you come up with a cool idea, you build your product, and then you go to market validation, right? So you identify who your target users are, you sell or try to sell your product to them, right? I think few of you have tried that, gone out there, done things, and tried to acquire users. So with that, you can understand if validate if a market exists for what you're building, right? Supporting programs like startup houses where you can talk to other people to validate your idea, right? That's the whole point of coming here, talking to people to understand if this product will actually work, get feedback, incorporate, iterate, right? You have local meetups that you could leverage where you could go and understand if there are users, there's a user base for what you're trying to build, right? Product feedback calls, of course, talk to your users, most importantly, right? Have feedback calls at the early stage, show them what your product looks like, right? And see if this makes sense for you. And of course, right? And then eventually when you do all of this, you iterate, you keep working, you become financially sustainable. Either you bootstrap your company, you raise funds, and hopefully become rich, right? So how can we help throughout the journey that I spoke about, right? So to start with, to support founders, we recently started this initiative called Founders Basecamp, where we run sessions about different subjects that will help early stage entrepreneurs, founders, right? So we are going to be releasing this shortly. So we'd love for you to enroll. It's open to anyone and everyone who is already a founder, you want to become a founder, or you're just curious about how to start startups, right? And then you have an idea, you sort of, something is brewing, you could go to our hackathons, you could partner with devs who are interested in building stuff, work with them and build a proof of concept, right? Now, the next step for you is to potentially apply for a seed grant. So all of the teams that came into the startup house has already got some initial level of funding from us. But we are a very small group of people just validating if this idea works or not, right? And for folks who came into the seed grant to help you solidify your idea, we have started an in-house accelerator. It's an internal program, so you don't see much about it on social media, but it's called the Seed Accelerator, and we're going to kickstart the cohort 2 very shortly. So all the seed grantees would get an invite to sign up for this. It's going to be very similar to Accelerator. You're going to come to us, you're going to have some lessons around, just around GTM, around raising funds, etc. And then you will receive one-on-one mentorship from a Starknet Foundation ecosystem member to help you grow over a period of 3 months, right? And a part of the entire Seed Accelerator or our internal accelerator is these startup houses act as a place for you to come and demo what you have built so far, right? So you have an MVP, maybe you have some early traction. You can come, get feedback, get to meet other people, network with folks, and then kind of scale up ideally, right? So MVP plus plus, right? If you already have a working product, that's when you come to the startup house and work more on your product. We are also partnering with incubators and external accelerators to give you the opportunity to apply. So keep an eye out on the Starknet Foundation social media handles. As and when we have these partnerships, we will keep announcing them. Apply to them irrespective of whatever stage you are at, because these places are really, really good for you to get feedback, right? Whether you get through or not, most of these places will tell you if you got through, why, if you didn't get through, why, both of which are great feedbacks for you, right? And then as you grow, you reach a point where you have acquired X number of users and now you're looking to scale, you're looking to grow. That's when growth grants kick in, and then, this format of grant sort of comes into picture, helps you grow, scale with a lot of milestones in place, right? Of course, last but not the least, we are here to help you make that network, make those connections that will help you grow. That will let's say if you're looking for funds or you're just looking to get connected to a set of people because you have some requirements, you're looking to collaborate with internal projects, right, to scale up. All of these network and connections we are happy to make, but you need to come and tell us what you want from us, right? That's how we can sort of provide that opportunity for you. We also have, of course, we also provide technical support to all of the teams that we are working with. Wherever you're stuck, we are happy to help you. And we also have another program called the Propulsion Program, which is for gas fee subsidy. And if you're interested, we can, we are happy to chat about that as well. So you can pick anyone from the ecosystem team. So myself, Henri, our boss, we have Robert from our team as well. From here, we have Omar and we have Dylan. So if you have any questions, just want to chat about any of these programs or just curious, find us and pick our brains. I want to leave you with this, that where next, right? Where's the next Starknet Startup House going to happen? It's going to happen alongside DevConnect 2025. So we're going to have a similar model, and I'm hoping that a bunch of you who learned stuff over here, accelerate your product growth, come there, and then, raise maybe funding or whatever opportunities you can leverage, right? So we will be releasing the applications for these shortly. And last but not the least, I want to thank everyone who was a part of this program, right? Starting from the applicants who took their time to fill up a fairly detailed application, had to send in videos talking about what they were building, right? So thank you for your time, being able to come here, spend 5 days with us, take the feedback that was given to you, incorporate it, iterate, talk to your mentors, spend a lot of time, doing cool stuff. Judges, of course, thank you so much for all your time. I know that, it can be a bit overwhelming in the evening to listen to a lot of pitches, but you came here and I hope, you had a great time as well. And last but not least, thanks to our partners. We are supported by Chainlink, Alchemy, Open Zeppelin, Starkware, and the whole Starknet Foundation team that put this together, right? The events team, the marketing team, everyone's just come to make this. The design team, you can see all of these beautiful designs. So everyone's come together to make this event happen, and we hope that everyone here got the best of it. Yeah.
Winners. I think we'll need to connect a new laptop in. Thank you so much, judges. Okay. While this is happening, I'll do a quick few, housekeeping things about what's happening next for the rest of the evening. So after we announce the winners, we'll take a few photos up here with the beautiful branding, celebrate all of the teams, not just the winners, but also everyone who's participated. We'll do a few photos, and then we'll head upstairs to the terrace by the pool to have dinner and some drinks. So please join us for that. And without further ado, here is Omar to announce the winners.
Well, thank you very much for being here. Thank you. This is an old slide by my boss. He used to give it a couple of years ago. Basically, we were trying to motivate developers to come here. Not everything was very well done. There were a lot of bugs. Not everything was working very well. The fees were very high still. It was slow. So we're trying to motivate developers, right? I think that time has already passed. We're already the chain with the lowest fees. We're the fastest one. We've been here for several years. Cairo has been securing more and more resources, so we're surviving here, and we're okay. And look at you. There'll be new businesses out of nothing, thanks to Starknet, thanks to the technology. So I think the time has changed to something like this. So you can, as developers, now you're founders, and you can with the technology, now you have a business, and you're not alone. That's something that remains after all these years. You're not alone, you're with the Starknet people, you're with the Chainlink people, with the Alchemy, Open Zeppelin, Starknet, we're all here for you. So without further ado, let's thank our judges, please. Nicole from Chainlink, Luca from Open Zeppelin, Marie from Star Foundation, Ken from Starknet, and Dimitri from Team Vision. Thank you very much. A lot of presentations. All right, so let's see who is the winners. They are not the winners there. Everyone is a winner. So it was very weird, but we got tied in the first place by 4 Gills and Kirby. This is extremely rare. Extremely rare. First year we have a tie, and in second place, Starknet. We have other ties in the next place, but I think this is enough. It was very, very, very competitive. So thank you very much, the winners, and thank you very much, the judges. Of course, there are no losers here. You went out, talked with people. A lot of you sold me your product, sold others the product. So you need a lot of courage to do that. You actually iterated a lot on your presentations. I saw Sasha, for example, iterating. So it is not easy, right? So yes, as Angela said, let's now celebrate, and bar is open, food is ready, and well, let's go to the party. Thank you very much.
Please take photos at the front with all of our finalists first.
Finalists to the front, please.
Finalists first, and then we'll do everyone who participated, or anyone who's attending tonight even.
Just
Good job.